Information before you leave.
Thank you.
We're coming back into session after exec session. We're scheduled to.
Yeah, yes. Okay. Ready to get some?
No, don't do that. Don't do this.
Is Trace still on the phone?
Yeah, Trace, you're still with us, right? Hello?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. So the next item is, a recommendation from the, Open Space Committee. We've had, 2 requests, and I just received another one this week, to install memorial benches in memory of loved ones. And so this policy is being recommended by the Open Space Board. I believe Kathy has one minor change that Greg is also in agreement with, so I'll let Kathy, if she wants to make her motion with the change for that.
Is everybody ready?
Yep.
To make, you have no questions, okay. So I'll make a motion to accept the memorial bench policy with pending the addition of information on the form on where to get the plaque. Just so the plaques are uniform and that they'll fit the bench, the screw holes and everything. That was my suggestion, because that could be a real debacle. That's my motion, not all of it.
Second. The cost of the bench is $650. That includes a $50 installation fee, correct?
Yeah.
Any more questions on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Did anybody second that?
Yeah.
Oh, you did, okay.
Dave did.
Someone opposed? Passed.
So I've actually asked for H and I to be moved down to after Roman numeral 12 executive session, so I would like to talk about that and before adjournment, so if you want to do other public comment and commissioners' comments, up to those.
Okay, at this time, any other public comment?
Please come up and use the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Name's Herb Miller, 184 Margaret Mill Road. I last asked Commissioner Reed where to get the information with regard to the plaintiffs that you mentioned.
Where did I get what?
Yeah, I can hear him.
That's how it is when we sit back here. We don't hear anything either.
I know that.
These things should have been thrown in the Schuylkill River during my tenure.
I'll second that.
You made a statement that the thing that's with regard to the small farm is complete.
It's coming to an end, yes.
And where did you get that information?
Through discussions with their council and our council.
So both councils came to that determination without the judge being involved. Is that
Oh, the
correct?
judge has got to end it. No,
Pardon me?
the judge has to end it.
Right.
No,
But you made the statement that it was near completion. So
the plaintiffs have made their final filings. So now their case is done. Now, I believe we make our filings. And we have made 1 or 2. So that's just a matter of how cases play out. The plaintiffs have, I'm not gonna say the term's incorrect, but forgive me, rested their case. Now we make our case through depositions, sworn depositions and others, so.
okay. You have anything else to add?
Not this time.
Mr. Chairman, can I make one statement? It's not a question.
Go ahead.
I'm sick of hearing it's in the packet. You know that. I said it a year ago. Tonight, we got a little more information from people. Thank you, Chief, for letting us know that there's break-ins. Wonderful. We now know that, okay? As far as the truck is concerned, we used to discuss why you needed the truck. All we heard was we're gonna spend X number of dollars on a truck. But nobody asked questions, okay? What's wrong with the old truck? Did you go out to see if you could find a good used truck? All that kind of stuff. It's just like you make a motion, you vote on it, and it's money, right down the drain. It's like
15
we
seconds.
have an endless supply of money from these people. Come on, get with it.
I believe that was applied for a grant.
Yes, correct.
I've heard that before too.
Any other? Yes, Jim.
Here's what you do, Rick.
Jim Kapinski, 1958 Yarnell Road. 6 months ago, I said this has to end regarding the dispute over the Smola farm. Obviously, it didn't. Don said the plaintiff gave up. My lawsuit with the township lasted 9 years, 8 years after I gave the deposition. This can go on for years, but that's besides the point. I'm here to give you information because the township refuses to have a meeting with us to update us on the Smola farm. The last thing I heard about the deed for the Smola farm is the deed doesn't have any restrictions in it, therefore the Smola farm is an open space. This is a land development plan, and Don, you might be familiar with this. This is Twin County's property on Airport Road. It's a subdivision plan, it has 4 or 5 lots on it, and it also has notes on it. One is, the permanent removal of topsoil from any parcel shall be prohibited except as follows. Another one, and there's 30 of them here. Nothing shall be placed, planted, set, or put in the area of the easements. Notes on the subdivision plans that a buyer of one of the lots has to adhere to, because their deed won't have 30 restrictions in it. The deed will refer to this plan. I gave you, this was the letter that Al, the engineer from CMC, wrote in response to the Natural Lands Trust. Further, prior to choosing this ground for the municipal complex, meaning the Smola farm, back in 2020, the township reviewed any restrictions which would potentially impact the proposed municipal use. Here's the packet I just gave you. The first page is the Smola deed. The deed has no restrictions in it. Just like a deed for one of these lots will not have 30 restrictions in it. However, it refers you to, it says, as set forth in the minor subdivision plan known as Tom Smola by the Aston engineers out of Boyertown. The second page refers to the Smola farm as lot number 2. The third page is a reduced copy of the minor subdivision for the Smola farm. And if you look at the very top in yellow, that's the deed book and reference. This is a recorded plan in Montgomery County. If you look down here, you see I also have a yellow thing that you can't read. But turn to the next page. Turn to the next page. Note number 9 of this approved and recorded subdivision plan. Lot number 2 is to be used for public open space, subject to the requirements of Montgomery County Green Fields, Green Towns Program, County Open Space. There's the restriction. They read the deed, everybody read the deed, and there's no restriction, but the deed refers to the plan that restricts it to open space. Thank you. And I sure wish we'd have an update on the Smola farm, because I keep reading, again, in one of the court documents, it's only gonna be 1.2 acres, and we all know that's wrong.
Come on.
Good job. Good job.
Rich Comer, 1303 Farmington Avenue. So it's in litigation. So this is how it works. My lawyer, your lawyer, her lawyer, his lawyer, all tell each other what they want to hear because they're hired by that person. And litigation takes forever.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, come on up, state your name.
My name's John Bush, and I live at 1256 North State Street. And this is a different topic, but I'd like to add some comments on North State Street and Upland Square, the development there. Based on what I'd read in the meeting minutes, I wanted to make the point that I was under the impression there was an agreement between the township and the residents. That was an outcome of a town hall meeting the township had many years ago. And that's why the developer had an agreement with the township to build a cul-de-sac. I don't know how something like that gets documented or recorded, but that was also the consistent message I heard from the Board of Commissioners and the last two township managers, was that we'd get a cul-de-sac when the north side of Upland Square Drive was developed. So I'm kind of asking and requesting this Board of Commissioners to honor and uphold that agreement, and especially if it is documented somewhere. The other point I wanted to bring out, which I didn't mention at the last meeting, was the amount of traffic. And since State Street has been closed, the accidents at Levingood and State Street, which is in front of our house, have stopped. Prior to the closure, there were always accidents out there, and I was always picking up debris from the car wrecks or finding a car in my front yard. So if you open up State Street in two directions or one direction, the accidents are gonna come back. And I think it's just gonna make an absolute mess. So again, I'm requesting and asking you guys, to uphold the message that we've gotten from the township over the years. Anytime I come before the Board of Commissioners and asked about State Street, specifically the cul-de-sac, I was always told, we'll get a cul-de-sac when the northern side of Upland Square was developed. So I'd like you guys to really consider that, and like I said, if there is an agreement somewhere or anything, just please stick to that agreement and try to maintain what we have left of that end of the township.
I understand there is an agreement, and I am in favor of a cul-de-sac.
Hey, Mr. Bush, there was actually two agreements, and there was some confusion because it showed two cul-de-sacs, but if you did the one way, we were looking at the plans, and it looked like they can have like a little exit ramp off that cul-de-sac, so it'll be a de facto back way into there.
Mm-hmm.
I have no intention of making that a full two-way street now. If there was a means to do emergency access we have to look at that. But your concerns are very well, but there was two, and it was confusion which one
Yeah.
was.
I mean, I guess that was also my concern when I had heard that there might be even a one-way direction, is that with the gates, when they took away the one set of gates that people couldn't drive around, they started driving around the gate that's right behind the Citadel.
Sure. Yeah.
And so in my mind, that's just opening up another traffic headache for the police to watch out if you try to make it one directional. And
You are correct, there was discussion of having a one-way, and I started that discussion, but it was only discussion, no decisions have been made. And Dave originally was the one that said cul-de-sac only, and the rest of us said the other way, but Dave was correct. We didn't have all the information, and we're fully aware of the situation. Now that Panda Heaven's up there, I mean, there's a lot of traffic going in there.
Oh, yes, that's why I said the 2017 traffic study shows there's over 40 cars an hour coming up State Street and going on Levingood. And it absolutely exploded when they opened the back of the mall.
Oh.
I actually had come to the commission and complained about the traffic and the trucks that were coming through there. So they conducted a traffic study in 2017, and it shows basically there's like over 850 cars a day coming up State Street or going on State Street and Levingood.
Thank you for your comments.
You're
Thank you.
very well said.
Will the township present any information on what's gonna happen other than like in the meeting minutes?
So just so you know, just to give you, they don't even have a plan submission to us yet, so we expect that, probably next year.
Okay,
But that whole plan will be reviewed by this board at public meetings, you will see that before any action's taken.
okay, good, thank you. I figured it would be more important to make my comments heard now than later, but thank you for the time.